Okay, today we are taking more math notes. This time we are taking notes for area. So I always put the name of what we're going to be learning about, and then you're always going to put the date here. Again, I don't know what date you'll actually be watching this, so you're going to put whatever date you're watching this. And remember again, when we are taking math notes, if I write it, you write it. Okay? And we're going to start with the definition for the word area. Oh my gosh, sorry. Okay. The definition for area is the number of square units needed to cover the surface of a closed figure. So the number of square units needed to cover the surface of a closed figure. So if I gave you, let me see, let me do something right. If I give you this closed figure, okay, the pink line represents the perimeter of that figure. We learned about perimeter in the last video. The area of this is the space inside. So that would equal the area of the figure. Okay? So let's do some examples of how you find the area. When you find the area, let's do the formula for that so we know what we're looking at as we get into this. Okay, so the formula for area, the area formula for a rectangle. So for perimeter, any closed figure, we're just going to add all the sides. For area, when we have closed figures, there are different formulas based on what type of figure it is. So the area formula for a rectangle is different than the area formula for an octagon. Okay, so the area formula for a rectangle, here's my little arrows, and I'd like to say this is coming. For a rectangle is length times width equals area. Now notice they always write the formulas with script letters or cursive letters. And so I will do the same thing, then I'll write it out in words. It is length times, or multiplied by, width equals area. Okay. So when we are finding the area of a rectangle, we're going to multiply the length times the width. And remember, we are working in square units up here in the definition. Remember, if I write something, you write something. So go back that box around those words so that they stand out to you later. Okay, so let's do some examples. Okay, so let's do, here is my rectangle. And let's say that this is 10 centimeters for the length, and the width is 5 centimeters. Now, when I was finding the perimeter, I had to know all four sides, and I had to use my knowledge of rectangles to know that these are congruent sides. When I'm finding area, I don't need to know that. I should know it anyway, but I don't need to know that. I only need the length and the width one time, and then I'm going to multiply those. So to find the area of these, I would put the area equals the length, which is 10, times the width. Okay, then I would multiply those. So the area equals 10 times 5, which is 50. And again, I have a unit of measure, so my unit of measure has to be in my answer. So that would be centimeters, and this is area, and we use square units, squared. That's how I would write that, 50 centimeters squared. Or I could write area equals 50 centimeters squared, if I wanted to use the words. Or I could write area equals 50 square centimeters. Okay, this is the way you will most often see it. That is what we call an exponent. We'll learn about that soon. So that is squared, because if you take this, let me see what color I want to use. I'll go back to the green. And I were to do this, let's see, kind of hard. I would have to make, that would be the middle, so I would have to make 1, 2, 3. And then I'm doing this freehand, so pretend they're all equal. Because each one of these now is a centimeter, so 1 centimeter, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and if I was using graph paper, they would be all even. And then the 5, if I divided this side into 5, let's see if that's 5, so it would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4, 5. And, oh, I already drew on those lines, so ignore those. Oh, I messed up. That one worked. So each one of these squares, right, if I count the squares, there will be 50 of them. And that is why it is square centimeters. Okay, I'm going to give you a rectangle to try. And so let me give you a rectangle here. And the directions for this would be find the area. And let's say that this is 9 inches by 3 inches. Okay, so you're going to pause the video. You're going to find the area for this rectangle. Don't just say it out loud, actually write down the math. Okay, actually write down the math. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video and try it. Okay, let's see how you did. Hopefully you're unpaused, and let's see how you did. So I need to find the length times the width to get my area. The length is 9, so the area is going to equal 9 times the width is 3. And if I want to carry my measurements all the way around with me, I can, or I can put them back on the end. That's up to you. So 9 times 3 equals 27. So my area equals 27. These are inches squared, or 27 squared inches. Right? I could write it all the way out. Or 27, to abbreviate it, square inches. I can abbreviate it with the SQ. Okay, so lots of different ways that we can write it, but we absolutely every time have to acknowledge and write down that I have inches squared or squared inches, because that tells everybody that you found area and not something else. Okay, so now you've watched both the perimeter and the area videos, and you're going to move on to the next box on your HyperDoc and move on to the next activity. Okay, I'll see you in class.